Hey, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm just hanging out here today with the goats and the chickens, thinking about some of the ways that we entrepreneurs can get caught up or stuck around how we communicate our work to the world. And I thought I would offer a concept straight out of the world of visual art that I find really helpful, and you might too. Um, it's about the triad between subject, form, and content. And basically, what that means is what you say and what you offer is really important, but how you say it is equally as important. So imagine you're a visual artist and you are going to depict an apple in your painting. That's your subject, your apple. Your form is all the maybe hundreds of choices you make in the process of depicting your apple. The type of support you're painting on, if it's wood or canvas, or you're painting on the side of a house or whatever you're doing, the media that you use, and all the things that those different choices communicate, the size and scale of the drawing or the painting, the texture of it, what you include and what you leave out in your depiction. Imagine the difference between kind of a straightforward diagrammatic illustration of an apple and a huge, luscious, messy, sloppy, wet, sensual painting of an apple, where the apple is like 4 feet wide. So what happens when you marry subject and form is you create content. The meaning of your thing comes through in that union of subject and form. And that meaning can wildly transcend the subject itself. Suddenly the apple painting is no longer just about an apple. It's about it's a meditation on death and sorrow, or it's an incredible celebration of the sensuousness of life, or it refers to scientific illustration and it makes the viewer feel and think about scientific concepts. There's so many different meanings that can come through because of the decisions about form that the artist made. And it's exactly the same thing with marketing and branding and the ways that business owners, entrepreneurs communicate our ideas and our products and our services. So, and many of us communicate all kinds of things without meaning to. And the entrepreneurial world has a culture, a visual culture, a culture of language, a culture of behavior, all its own. Okay, so the ways that we tell our stories, the trends that are around us in terms of how we communicate our stuff are very particular and very specific, and they sort of, unless we're thinking about this relationship of subject and form and content, the culture of entrepreneurship around us can feel just normal and like reality. But if you want your work and your offerings to really stand out and communicate meaning beyond the typical phrases that you hear and kind of language that we fall into, you're going to have to really look at that relationship between what you're saying and how you're saying it, and how the combination of those two things creates meaning. So think about that today. Think about your offerings, your business, your products, your services, your events, your courses. If you think about it in terms of this relationship between subject, form, and content, what do you see happening? And if you shift that relationship, or if you try different forms and different ways of communicating, how does that change the meaning of what you do? All right, leave your responses in the comments. I'm happy and interested to hear what you think. Bye, loves.